boys, maybe the best day of the rugby year.
Yeah, 100%. Not a lot of positive things happening in Wales at the minute, but when it comes to Six Nations and the national team, we're supporting the boys. It's big games here. England, fantastic team. Record they got at the minute. It's a big task for Wales, but I'm sure they're going to go in all guns blazing. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, very exciting indeed. All the talk of off-field politics, of form, of selection. It's frenzied in the build-up, and it all melts away. And it's England, Wales, and the Six Nations. Good as it gets.
The next thing we'll hear will be the whistle of a Frenchman. Pierre Brousset, his Six Nations debut here last season. The rain has stopped for the time being. Wales won the toss, and young Dan Edwards will get this jamboree going. Pitch is wet. Four will be slipping, and it's the Six Nations. And both teams will have 80,000 voices ringing in their ears. And he will love it. Lewis Rees-Zammit back tasting all of this again after giving the NFL a go. Wales scrum half. Thomas Williams, a player who can get you out of your seat, that's for sure. I'm absolutely sure that Wales are going to bank on their kicking game as well. Today, just like England, they see profit in this. Very often the easiest way to gain meters. Not this occasion, however. England have it. Then we will get through a shed load of ball carrying today, and George Ford, who will do likewise off the boots. To the other 10, Edwards, the Osprey.
Just a couple of early signs that England aren't worried about kicking long. Lewis Rees-Zammit, the fullback, lurking around. It's 3 times now they've kicked long to the Welsh backfield.
Boys charged down by Underhill, and Earl slides in and looks for options, and Alex Mann quickly over the top, doing what he can to slow things down. Likewise, Rees-Zammit, Wales fullback today. Penalty for England on the way. They have the advantage. Genge, a shove from him. Mitchell to Ford. Once more, Ben Earl. Once more, Genge. Back for the penalty.
Yeah. 4 teams showing that they're going to look for that territory, get that ball down there. Lewis Rees-Zammit involved twice already. His first tick was a little carry in. Made a couple of yards, got Wales on the front foot. Second time, just a little bit hesitant really to put boot to ball. Trajectory was far too low. England put the pressure on, nice little charge down and 3-point attempt right in front of post.
Good hustle that from England, isn't it? The obvious thing to do to an inexperienced fullback at this level is pump high balls, and if that's not an option, you want a really aggressive chase. All Lewis Rees-Zammit knows what he tried to do just now, he didn't do quick enough. So the idea is, from an England point of view, he rushes it next time. Good hustle.
It is a wet day, but it is a still day. Ford's first kick. England 3, Wales 0.
Yeah, I think it's really important for Wales today now that they understand they need to be using Lewis Rees-Zammit as a footballer as well. England would have done their homework certainly. They know he's got the pace, he knows he likes to take defenders on, but for sure he just can't do it every time he gets it. On that occasion, again, Underhill is a workhorse. He's always going to put pressure on the kicks. And that time it paid off.
Steve Tandy, Wales' new head coach, will be visiting his first Six Nations game in charge. Tempted home from Scotland last year, he had the autumn internationals, the November tests. And it steps up here. No way through for Rees-Zammit. What do we make of him at fullback, Shane?
Yeah, well, look, I think they're looking at the fact that his, first of all, his height, his dominance in the air. Murray was there in the autumn series, 5'6", 5'7", and he was massively tested, and I'm sure that'll be the case. He's Lewis Rees-Zammit. He just fits the bill a little bit more, doesn't he? He's already received 3 kicks, so it just goes to show England don't fear him. They'll kick the ball down his throat and just close him down.
That's a really good chase from Ellis Mee as well, the 22-year-old Scarlet. Wales have been practicing, not kicking those kicks too far. They reckon somewhere between 20 and 22 metres is the optimal distance to get the height on the ball, but give the chaser time to get underneath it.
And actually, that's a proper attempt from Ellis Mee. It's a really good attempt in the air. That's just an aerial collision, but good aggression from him, good timing. It's actually now, because defending players can't run back and effectively create a protective zone around their fullback or their hindmost player coming forward to catch it. It's actually, you could argue it's easier for the attacking team, actually. They've got to get one arm up and go for a tap back. Freddie Stewart, massive bloke, fantastic in the air. Looks rough in slow-mo. That's just a good contest, that.
Wales and Dan Edwards turning down what would have been a long kick at the posts. And they will hope to build something from the throw that will be theirs at the line-out. And here's Dewey, face full of pride, now determination as the skipper in the absence of the injured Jack Morgan. First Wales threat. And it's taken by Josh McLeod, the Scarlet. However, as he caught the ball, there were mates of his in front of him. Notably, I think David Jenkins, that's who Pierre Brousset seems to have picked out.
He's picked out David Jenkins, so if we can have a look. Keep your eye, black scrum hat, does the lifting. And then watch him, and he actually gets himself in between his player and the opposition. You can't, that's offside, it's obstruction. You can't be in there, he's facing the wrong way. Made himself a buffer, really good spot that. And just unnecessary, the ball was won clean, really good opportunity that for Wales. Bit of a let-off for England.
England shortening the line out, so there will be some big bosses in this midfield if they can get the ball out. Underhill looks eager, so too Ellis Genge. It was a bit slow coming out, so Genge almost from Underhill almost from a standing start. Now England's turn to kick and to chase, and Arundel. That's what we were talking about, David. Number 3, Archie Griffin, an escort.
An escort, it's just getting in the way. We used to call it ghost lines, call it whatever you want. It's just getting in the way, acting natural, pretending you don't need it, getting in the way of chasing players, attacking players, kick chasers. Can't be done. Archie Griffin that time, when you're 21 stone and about 4 feet wide. Not quite as inconspicuous as you might imagine.
Yeah, it's just frustrating, isn't it? It's 2 penalties, needless penalties that didn't need to get given away, and now look at England.
Line out, playing for England by Ollie Chesham. It's been smuggled back to Jamie George. Ben Earl now has it, and he looks for the launch pad. Mitchell. And then picked up by Dingwall to Tommy Freeman. Northampton to Northampton to Northampton for England. Mitchell again. George trying to burrow under the radar. Underhill to the right. Here he goes. Running into McLeod, but England that close. First time in the 22 with the ball in hand. Earl. Robot bouncing around. Freddie Stewart on this near right-hand side. Wales gumming it up illegally. Mitchell on his toes. Wales have already conceded 4 penalties. Genge, off he goes. Oh, it was David Jenkins who went low, was beaten, and then the drive from Pepper. Mitchell gives it some width. Forward, Arundel! England lift off.
It's irresistible power from England. 5 or 10 yards out from the Welsh line. And then as soon as that ball is whipped just a few feet wider and gets into the hand of George Ford, so flat to the line, it just feels inevitable. Wales are going to intercept, or the ball's going to flash across the front of them, and it's going to be try time for Arundel. So much power from Freeman in that carry. Wow, straight through the middle. It's as soon as Ford gets that ball, isn't it, Shane? You think, well, you know what's coming next. He's too good.
Yeah, he's so good at that flat pass, isn't he? And The confidence in this England side, just millimetres away from the try line, to get a two-pass away from there, to show how confident they are. Or rugby league style pass, we've seen that so many times. Rundle just holds really flat. Makes it difficult for Wales to get on that corner and make a tackle.
Ford's conversion, England lead 10-0, and Henry Arundel on his first England start since the World Cup in 2023. You may remember he scored 5 tries against Chile in Lille. He's got one early on against Wales in London.
Back to Shane's point, what did England do to get that field position? Wales just gave 2 completely unnecessary penalties away. England did nothing for that red zone entry, but when they got there, they made it count. Wales have got to cut that out, making it too easy for England.
The frustration for Wales, Shane, is that that's what Steve Tandy and the coaches and the senior players have been talking about all week.
Yeah, they have discipline. You've got to have your discipline, especially playing away from home. He's a team that's dominant and expected to put you under pressure. And it was a problem in the autumn series as well, and the Six Nations last year. So if you're not learning from that, it's just an absolute coach killer. Wales have opportunities. They get the ball in the 22 from their own penalty, give 2 penalties away, end up on their own try line. That's not professional rugby. You've got to get those things right. Learn from your mistakes, and I hope they have. There's a long way to go in this game.
It's backpedaling Lewis Rees-Zammit. Wales picking their best firework at fullback today. Often a winger. He's been playing a lot for the Bristol Bears, his club, at fullback this season. So he's used to the geography of it all. Dan Edwards, 22-year-old fly half. I mean, he's kind of been thrown in the deep end, Dan Edwards, but we've seen enough flashes of silver and gold to know that he's the real deal.
Yeah, definitely flashes of brilliance from this man. He's been on form for some time for the Ospreys. I think what's great as well is he is getting that opportunity under Steve Tandy. There have been a lot of choppy changes at 10. But he's looked at now as the starter. All the confidence is put on him. Steve Tandy has given him the reins, the free rein, I should say.
Ford, with one of those little bombs that causes all sorts of problems, and Rees-Zammit walloped by Tommy Freeman in England's midfield today. Another winger reacquainting himself with a new position. Freeman actually putting his hand up and saying, that's where I want to play long term. No Ollie Lawrence for England today, so we have another look at Freeman as a 13. Thomas Williams, the 14th kick. I did tell you, here comes another. Ford, and the test for the young fly half. England are chasing well and putting pressure on the catcher, that time it was Stewart.
He's blindside now. Wales have a look, they got numbers. No, they've counted, they've gambled.
Mitchell to Earl, Chesson. Ball that they worked hard to win back. Earl again. Nobody carried the ball for England more in the autumn. Multiple player of the matches. Oh, and again, not quite.
Really gutsy from England. Just turnover, really counteract. If Wales would have won that back, there was numbers on the left-hand side. Just Roebuck on his own screaming to get those white jerseys on the corner. But great turnover England. Should have scored there. There was numbers on the left-hand side.
Ben Thomas, who was offside, just up too quickly as he tried to go about his defensive work.
We knew they were in trouble. England were on there. They turned the ball over. I don't know if England got away with one then, but the initial counter up, you saw Jamie George end up on the floor. That's a little... Literally a 10 on 10, isn't it? I wonder if it being these days, if they have a look at that.
Okay. Time off. Captain. Oh, we're going to have a look. Timo is 12 Trinini. Yeah, Bruce, I'm sure we'll speak in English here.
Number 1 from England, go to push the set movement head, go to this PK reverse. Okay, sorry, say that again. I will reverse the PK against number 1 because he comes to push the head. Yeah, penalty. It's Not to headbutt, just to push, but I don't want to see that anymore. Very bad. I will. Just a push for me, penalty for you.
Penalty has been reversed. The TMOs have actually been told during this championship to pipe down a little bit. They were becoming the stars of the show, or whatever you might have called them, in the autumn. But that's worth putting your hand up for.
Yeah, I think so. Look, there was contact there. I have no doubt Alex Mann was whining Ellis Genge up there. You obviously don't see the ins and outs of everything, but
He has been known to do that. They both have, actually.
yeah, exactly. So, and he's won his team a penalty there. Ellis Genge, look, he's bigger and smarter than that. He knows he's made a mistake, and I'm sure that'll be the last of it. I'm sure he'll be niggly all throughout the game, but you can't go doing that. And it's cost England 3 points.
It's Wales' turn to shorten the line out, and it was brilliant one aerially from Alex Coles, who's just playing the best rugby of his life at the moment, the Northampton Saint, and part and parcel of this England team. Making sure that ball wasn't there for Welsh hands. His clubmate Mitchell with the kick. Made back by Arundel. Mitchell flings it to Ford, who looks for space that's covered by Josh Adams. '66 cap today for Adams, 22 tries, only Ian Evans, Gareth Thomas, George North and Shane Williams scored more. How many tries have you scored, Shane?
Well, I don't like to talk about it, but 58 and 2 for the British Irish Lions as well.
He's got it tattooed behind his ear here, I can see it.
Sizzling Shane with us in the commentary box today. George to Mitchell, and then Dingwall and Ford, and England running it nicely. And that was Tom Roebuck, late edition yesterday after Manife Waboso tweaked a hamstring in the last couple of minutes of Thursday's training session. Here's Coles. Starting today with Maro Itoje, a replacement. Oh, and another one of those spiral bombs. This is a nightmare.
Brilliant.
Taken well by Reece Samet, who's equipping himself decently as the fullback.
I'll tell you what, the difficulty of what Lewis Reece Samet have done can't be overstated. That's spiral bomb.
Let's explain the physics of the spiral bomb. Who wants to take that one on?
Well, you might argue Shane's better placed.
Go on then, Shane, your job.
It is such a skill because you don't see many players spiral kick at all these days because the end over end, your rugby league kick is far more easier. But putting up and under in a spiral is such a technique. The problem is it goes up pretty quickly, but it comes down even quicker because it's got that trajectory and that spin, and it falls really late. But Lucius Samet does so well, as he has for the other 4 or 5 kicks he's already taken off board.
And it moves really late as well. It's like a wet blancmange coming out of the sky. It's so difficult to know where it's going to land. Anyway, England have it. Ollie Chesham, 5 from 5 line out wise. Putting a lot of early pressure on this Welsh defence. They scored an early try through Henry Arundel. They have a penalty. Wales continue to ship penalties. It's becoming a problem, and I think Pierre Bruce wants to have a word with the captain, Derry Lake.
From the side and collapsing.
You just think when you're giving a few away, you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful. You see, David Jenkins there, number 4. You could argue the first shot he takes, he almost gets knocked into England's way, but then he does make his own way around there. He's not joined to the same player the whole time. If you join the whole time, you're bound on the whole time, and you end up there, or lucky old you, but you can't just swim your way around.
Ball tossed into the air to Chesham. George spins around, but he's wrapped up by Lake. Another penalty coming. Won't be long before Bruce's finger starts to get itchy. In fact, it's already got itchy. There's a a yellow card coming here, I think. That's certainly the threat.
Just waiting for Zinanga. Early drive, too many penalties. Okay.
That's
Number
Nicky
one,
Smith.
early drive.
You can see the reluctance on the face of Pierre Brousset, and you can see the frustration on the face of Nicky Smith, but they had been warned.
Yeah, it's early in the game, isn't it? 16 minutes into the game, and you've been yellow carded for persistent ill discipline. You know, it's ridiculous really when you think about it. You've had enough opportunities. The referee's spoken to the red jerseys. They're still giving penalties away. Not cynical fouls, just poor understanding of the game.
And Wales now have to defend this. A man down and a big man down. Nicky Smith missing his bolt from this defensive effort. Derry Lake doing all he can. And he's done well to bring that down, but it's still England. It's still the threat. This is Robar. He's been tackled brilliantly. That's another penalty.
There is, first, the same one, there is another different one, the first we have for that.
Oh my goodness. We played 17 minutes and Wales have lost 2 players to the yellow card. And they've lost their captain, Derry Lake goes, and they're down to 13.
Derry Lake scratching his head. I think the whole of the stadium is scratching out their heads on how poor the discipline for Wales has been at the minute. Just spoken to by the referee. Didn't quite expect another yellow card to come out so soon, but just the pressure Wales are under at the minute.
Got to move your scrum down here.
Third test in a row, by the way, that Wales have had 2 yellow cards. New Zealand and South Africa, and now England. How on earth do Wales deal with this? They've lost 2 forwards, David. They've lost a loose head prop. They've lost their hooker. And they're going to have to bring on Rhys Carre, the prop, and Liam Belcher, the mustachioed hooker, to have a legal scrum, and they're going to have to sacrifice a couple of players as well.
Have to sacrifice 2. Keep your eyes on Derry Lake here. They're getting marched backwards. He's got Jamie George around the net. There's no outcome other than it hitting the ground once he does that, because he leaves his feet behind.
13.
And I'll tell you what, Nick, Rhys Carre fresh on, but your 2 big men down. This Wales front row are thinking survival, survival, survival.
So Wales have sacrificed Alex Mann, a back row flanker, and Eddie James, a big midfielder.
Yeah, you know, you'd expect England to really go for this scrum here. However, 13's after the game now. Wouldn't expect, wouldn't surprise if they go quick here. Catch Wales napping.
Yeah, the old double bluff. Plan the big scrum and actually just move the thing straight away might be wise. Or not.
Another advantage. Mitchell scrabbling for the ball, gets it away. Taken on by Dingwall. Must score. Ford with the kick. Arundel with the catch. His second. Wales in a right old pickle. England have 2.
There was again the sense of absolute inevitability when George Ford got his hands on that ball. He thought about passing it, I think, but he didn't need to. The cross kick now is so accurate, it's as good as a pass. From a player like George Ford, massive pressure at the scrum. Means that what back row Wales have got available get taken away by the wheel of the scrum from the power of Genge. And they're up against it, down on numbers. Frankly, England should have scored, 2 men up.
Yeah, it's just smart play from England. They knew the penalty was coming from the scrum. Mitchell, quick as you like, gets the ball away. You had Arundel just screaming on the other side. You got Ellis Mead defending at 13, so he's narrow. Lewis Rees-Zammit, we all know he's quick. He's not that quick. And Ford with a perfect pass it, didn't even really thought, tell you what, I got the footwork, I'll just put it on a stamp for him. Thank you very much. Easy.
Lewis Rees-Zammit was quick enough, however, to put George Ford off his stride on the conversion attempt, which went wide. But England, within the first quarter, have 15 points.
Wales, understandably, in no rush to get back to the halfway line. They're going to have to step up now. They're going to have to be intelligent, think clearly, but they've got to physically be fierce until they get back up to 15 men. Bang up against it. Less than 20 minutes in with those two, probably, well, two of their three strongest men not on the field. Hard work this.
Restart from Edwards. Walloped away by Ford. Rees-Zammit. How do Wales play this, Shane, two men down?
Yeah, well, it's survival mode in the minute. Just looking at two contrast there on two players. George Ford gets the ball, he has white numbers behind him. He runs the ball right to the line, then does his kick. Lewis Rees-Zammit just catching that ball, runs a couple of yards, puts the kick forward, doesn't take any yardage out of the game whatsoever. That's the difference. And again, there's another penalty. It's all self-inflicted with Wales at the minute. It's so frustrating as a coach, knowing that you caused all these problems on yourself.
We are going to where the ball landed off that latest penalty. Wales have conceded 9 penalties in the opening 20 minutes. 9 of 10 is what Team Strider concede around the whole of the 80 minutes.
You know, penalties happen. The penalty for Ben Thomas being offside is avoidable, but he's trying to put pressure on. He might get away with some of those. Dowie Lake, you could argue it was a bit... He had to try something, they were going to score. You'll often get away with those, avoidable. But a lot of them, like the McLeod penalty just now, are just avoidable. They are in the category of unforced errors, unnecessary penalties. They put themselves under so much pressure.
Midway through this first half, England with 2 tries, Wales down by 2 players. Ford, and then Freeman, and behind the back, and Tom Rover.
That is the worst pass he's ever thrown. I hope he's able to laugh about that at some point. Lovely passer of the ball. Except then.
Yeah. Very he just twists his hands, doesn't he? Doesn't get anywhere near Rover. But it's just inevitable. Whatever, England now are going to get up onto the 13 channel. Wales are a centre down. They're a forward down as well. And they're just going to keep pounding Wales with the pressure. Wales just pushing to the sideline, hoping for those mistakes. Hoping that they're going to be able to get through the next 6-7 minutes, whatever it is, before they can get these 2 big guys back on.
George to the front where he finds Guy Pepper, and very quickly Freeman running at pace and with purpose and very nearly there. One more decent shove and England will be. Earl pops it up for George. Ford with his arms out. Mitchell goes the other way. And Wales trying to get shirts underneath. And again, they've done a very good job with England over the line.
They've done a really, really good job. And actually, Ellis Genge just powered over, but he's done what Tommy Freeman, I think, made sure he didn't do. That first carry from Freeman, again, devastating. Straight through down Edwards at 10. Straight through.
It's got to be in by now.
Nothing too sophisticated about it. Send a big athletic man up. And I think he almost pulls up half a metre short so that he doesn't get held up.
It was smart play as well, wasn't it? Because if he gets any closer to that try line, it's a turnover. He knows he's not quite there. He could fight to try and score the try, but he doesn't. He just turns the ball back.
On the half volley, Mitchell catches and again adding to his metres early on. Dingwall, Ford away quickly under some pressure. Stewart, Tommy Freeman riding through, but he was hunted down by Adams. Pepper to Underhill. 2 bad players in combination. Ford, and then Dingwall. There's a lovely, pleasing freedom about the way England are playing, and that's their 3rd. England, a team of 13. So let's underline that. But the passing is crisp and the drives are full of purpose.
Yeah, 100%. All players are running the correct lines. They're not going across field, getting too excited too early, knowing that they got the numbers. It's a great carry from Freeman, gets over that gain line. The damage is almost already done. Look at the white jerseys compared to the amount of red ones. And Ellis-Me, one-on-one, dips the shoulder. There's one winner there, I'm afraid. Inevitable in the end. The problem is, England got their backs up. They know that they've got Wales on this 13 channel, and they are going to keep coming for as long as they can in this half.
Right, wobbles its way between the posts. 24 minutes gone. England with 22 points.
You're playing against 13, but you still got to go and do it. You've got to maximise that advantage. Still a bit to do for Ben Earl, in fairness. Powerful guy, we know all about that. England just a couple of big carries up the middle. Wales do it, David Jenkins piling in with some big shots, and Underhill flying in, doing his best, but ultimately Wales narrowed up. The ball gets moved, try time. Painful for those two Welsh front rowers on the bench to watch this at the moment. I say on the bench, in the sin bin.
There's still another minute or so to go on the first of the yellow cards. Nicky Smith. Dewi Lake will come back onto the pitch not long afterwards.
Does it?
Salmon. Oh, beautiful sidestep. And off he goes. His skills that have been refined in the NFL. Fast feet. Shane knows all about fast feet. And Lewis Rees-Zammit has a pair as well.
Oh, he's been heavily involved already, hasn't he? Taking a couple of high kicks. Lovely feet. Good chase. It's just one of those where you're catching the ball just, you've got a split second to get around the defender.
That ball's gone forwards. There's an England knock on. Wales scrum. England 22. Wales 0.
Yeah, I think just Wales would be just happy they got the ball.
Oh, red ball.
We miss much.
Well, Ellis Genger's just about done his shoelaces up. Ollie Chesham's restrapping his wrists. Everyone's having a breather. Joe Hayes is thrilled that Ollie Chesham's strapping his wrist because he's 21, 22 stone and he wants a little breather.
You've not signed up for Six Nations Fantasy League yet, then it's not too late. Match onto this QR code, get picking your team. You strike me as a fantasy leaguer, Claire.
Yeah, I'm not actually. Maybe I should be. Shane Williams an option. Can I sign Shane still?
Yeah. Cost you a lot.
Are you referring to Flats being a nerd? A stato.
Anyway, get involved if you want to. It'll take over your life.